Alright, we got ourselves a TV ZvT. I haven't got up on the screen, so I'm keeping my Reddit clean. I've just played a game where I knew my opponent was going full air before we engaged. I got 6 Vipers for Parasitic Bomb Mass Corruptor, but it wasn't enough. I believe it was only one upgrade down during the last engagement. Help me figure out what I should have done differently. I had a couple of successful league run buys and even got him down to 50 SCVs mid-game. Even though it wasn't enough to make a difference, maybe I should have gone for a Mass Corruptor and Neurals instead. Please help. So this obviously wasn't posted to me. This is posted to Reddit. Let me flip this around real quick. Thank you, Thrawn. Thank you. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm just going to say that. How many workers active? So the Terran and the Zerg are pretty much even on workers active. These are the kind of statistics that you can look at yourself after a game. We can see the income advantage is... Wait, no, that's army value. Hard the army value. No. Income advantage. Basically no real income advantage for the first like 9.5 minutes, right? That's not where we want to be. Down to 50 SCVs by mid game, but the Terran does have mules, and it looks like, honestly, he stayed on kind of 50 SCVs. Yeah, like he was on 50 SCVs for a lot of it. So like getting him down to 50 SCVs from 65 when he's already got a bunch of mules doesn't really change anything. We finally get up to the economy we needed to have 15 minutes into the game. We realize we're playing a macro game 15 minutes in. Way too late. Way too late. Resources, that doesn't matter because I know exactly what's going to happen because I think this is like low diamond, 10% efficiency. So up until 6 minutes, I reckon this was a BC rush because at 6 minutes 40, everything fell apart. So I'm going to probably bet my money that it was a double BC rush, but we'll find out. Ignore my salt. I'm a salty man. Thrawn, I believe you've sent me a bunch of replays, mate. I have not had the energy lately with what's going on and work and all that. Just have not had it in me, mate. I've been I think this is only my second stream in like 2 weeks. So I do appreciate you sending stuff through, but I just, yeah. Been meaning to play more, but since I hit that M2, like that was a surprise for me, and then I've kind of gone, you know what, I'm happy with M2, man. As a peak, that's pretty good for someone who doesn't know much of what they're doing. Off to a good start. We made a drone, we moved the Overlord, we're doing an extractor trick, we're doing the back row extractor. I'm honestly less of a fan of. I feel like this doesn't matter half as much as we want it to. We want to believe it matters. And we didn't take the gas for some reason. Hey Thrawn, since you're there, mate, can you get? Am I a little bit too loud, or is the music too loud? In my headset, the music is insanely loud for the game, so. Just curious how it's mixing. I think it's usually alright where it sits on the levels. We're going into double gas. Horrible. Horrible. There's no game sound at all. Are you kidding? I thought I fixed this. I'm going to have to fix it up later. That sucks, dude. I love the game sound. It's like my favorite part of watching games, man. Besides the games. So, double gas, this sucks. This is like all-in territory off like 19 drones. This is not a macro build, and yeah, I don't understand what we're planning on doing here with this. Why did we take both gases if we're not using them? Nah, I'm not going to muck around with the sound during the replay analysis thrown. I appreciate it though. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to have to muck around with it later. That's so annoying though. Everything else is okay, right? Except we took the gas. I don't know whether... Maybe we didn't intend to take the gas. Maybe it was supposed to be another extractor trick. And it just didn't happen. We got our queens out super late. The pool went down at like 109, I believe. So yeah, it should be popping soon, which is right, yeah. So the pool... We didn't start our queens until like 8 seconds late, dude. And our pool was actually earlier, so it's worse than that. Slightly. We delayed our queen for 12 seconds. 12 whole seconds, man. That's not good. Those drones could have waited. You didn't need those drones that bad. Having those queens is way more important. This Overlord does not help us, though. This Overlord doesn't spot this. This is useless. Right? If we're going to do this, you might as well not send one. The only thing this is going to really spot is like a proper move out, and I don't think that's worth it because you won't know what your opponent's doing at the natural. If they have a natural, you don't know if it's 1 base, 2 base. You don't know how committed they are without sending that Overlord across. I'm assuming by the lack of us taking the gas, like by the lack of us putting drones in the gas, means it wasn't intentional. Yeah, like a 241. The thing is though, as well, we built lings that aren't really going to do anything because we already have the queens out and he didn't send a Reaper across. So yeah, you're opening the game with an all-in, basically. I feel like what you really want behind this is speed. Because roaches will help you break through, and then a ling flood behind it. We're getting... This is like... What the fuck is going on here, man? It's almost 4 minutes in. You're on 2 queens, 1 ling, and 30 drones. You are like way behind the 8 ball. The Terran's actually going to have more economy than you, or pretty much dead even economy, which is not where you want to be, right? We see him peaking up at like 1500 and stuff. This is not where you want to be. You are behind already. You're 4 minutes in the game. Nothing has happened. No, there's been no exchange whatsoever. And we're behind 31 resources because of the extractor tricks. And we are behind in every other metric so far, right? The Roach Warren didn't need to happen. The Queens definitely don't need to be delayed. I think this was Diamond, D3. A 4 minute... Like the spores are like 30 seconds, 20 seconds early, which is also bad, right? Considering we're taking double gases. What are we doing with it, man? You've got the evolution chamber, but didn't get these upgrades. We're not going into a lair. None of this makes sense. You're trying to do all of this stuff at once that doesn't need to happen. If this is early BCs, this is going to be crippling as well because this Zerg's not going to have the economy to survive it unless he just drops like a handful of spores in each base and just powers through it on like raw energy. Let me get rid of the music because the music's a bit loud. Unless Thrawn's lying to me and there is sound. Is there music or like there's no music, no game sound at all? The creep spread's good. I'm really concerned about us taking all this gas and not doing anything with it. You could have got both these upgrades and a lair off the 1 gas. You didn't need all this. Link speed is insanely late as well. If there's any kind of pressure, if there's any kind of Hellbat timing, we're dead. Even if this was like literally like a 4, what do we have at 4 minutes, right? If this was a standard 4-minute Hellion opening, there is 2 queens and a ling. We just die, dude. We just die. There is no safety here that is being executed to a degree that makes sense. Right? You're executing a whole bunch of safety, but it's not really focused on stopping anything at once. You're trying to do everything at once, and that's just not how it works. We took an upgrade and then changed our mind. And again, like the Terran's on 35 SCVs, he's making more money than us, which means he has more potential to outgrow us. We're seeing an armory, we're seeing hyperflight rotors, and we're seeing cloaking field. Oh, that's exciting. So this is going to be Banshees.
Do you want me to put it away while you do that?
No, it's all good. We're going to the Spy, which is nice. The Spy is a pretty good safety tool. Wait. Was there a second Roach Warren built? No. What are you talking about? Wait, no, it's a hatchery. No, the Roach Warren was like right after the pool. I thought he was going to open with like a 5 roach pressure. We're at 6 minutes and 40 workers. The Terran is out mining us, doubling our gas. This is not where we want to be, man. And see, because we had this is an issue, right? We had no scouting. We have no idea what he has. We never did. I love the name, by the way. We didn't do any scouting, right? So we've just built a bunch of Banes for an attack that does not need Banes, right? And see what he's doing here. Fusion Core, he's getting the battle. So the battle cruisers will be coming, but for now it's just Banshees for some reason. Yeah, we've just wasted gas that could have been used to build like 5 or 6 corruptors. It would have helped us actually hold any Banshee pressure with ease, because we genuinely didn't know. We didn't even think about it. Oh, we see the Banshees. Well, we can't cancel the fucking Banelings now, can we? Right? 1 spore here, I don't feel like is enough. I would want to have another like here. I like the vision here, and I like the vision here. Sorry, I'm just replying to chat. I mean that against a passive T who is clearly doing something behind the wall. I either go aggressive or beeline into defensive units. I think just making enough like roaches would stop pretty much anything here. But what's killing me is the economy. The lack of economy here is staggering, where it's... For some reason, the Terran's kind of stalled. I guess because he hasn't taken this base as early as he probably should have. He's kind of stalled in his work account, which is going to help the Zerg catch up a little bit, but we're still prioritizing a lot of gas. If it's a defensive Terran as well, they may just be waiting for like their 7-minute timing, and then they push out with like 3 or 4 tanks and a handful of marine bio medevac, and sometimes that's more than enough to push someone over who just doesn't have enough things. We lost the hatch, which sucks. We're sending our Banelings. We're sending the Banelings in to deal with the Here we go. We're not following properly though, right? We don't need the Banelings involved. Take them off the friggin' hotkey, dude. While this is happening, we should be taking a base back and droning up. We're on a ton of workers at 9 minutes. Oh, it doesn't... Not even a ton, really. It's just 66. This is very, like... This isn't a lot. 122 supply from the Terran. at 9 minutes, he could be well and truly maxed. Like, I think he put so much work into making those Banshees, they literally did not pay off. And for the cost of them, he could have had another BC, which would have been actually better. It's good that he went home with them, because I don't feel like they're very useful. We go out and we check our opponent with changelings, which I love. This is a high IQ move that takes very little effort to do, so I appreciate this. Gives us great vision, right? We get to see that he's at least got the 2 bases. We have these here to see if he's taking these 2 bases, and they offer us some pretty good vision. I'd like to see this maybe a little bit further over so we can see the entire gap. But right now we're facing a 5 base Terran, and we are barely ahead in the mining, but it's taken us 11 minutes to do it with basically no trading. He killed a handful of things with the Banshees, lost a Banshee to do that. It's basically a completely passive game. So when you're in a passive game like this as well, what's your game plan? My game plan, honestly, is Broodlords. I know people don't like them, but the one thing I do like about the Broodlords is you can get Corruptors. Corruptors will deal with the BCs. You can use them to pee on planetaries and stuff like that. You can use it to pee on CCs, kill starports, that kind of thing. Kill any useful infrastructure. And then when you've dealt with the BC threat, you can just morph the bad boys into Broodlords and then have your way with the ground army. Whereas like Ravager, Brooches, Lingbane, they don't shoot up, so you kind of get left. It's very easy to get overwhelmed by a handful of BCs flying over to your side of the map, teleporting home when they get attacked, and that's it. Whereas Corruptors give you the edge to be able to chase them down and punish them. So he's just massing tanks. This has been an incredibly passive game. The upgrades are good in a way, because the Terran's upgrades aren't that fantastic. I would love to see us. We do have double spire. That's sick. Almost like worth dropping a 3rd spire just so you can get the greater spire. We really need to lock down like a very greedy amount of drones, right? Your assumption should be, as a Zerg, if your opponent has a base, they have workers to fill that base, and your economy needs to be better than that. So luckily for us, the Terran doesn't have full saturation on all of his bases, but we should be assuming that they do. Simply, we should assume that they do because they have the base, right? And there's a potential there for them to have more than us. So if they're having 4 bases, we should assume they're on like 80, 85 workers, just like we would be. So our goal should be to go higher than that. Obviously the saturation is not good either, but I'm sensing a real lack of game plan here. We're about to attack in, but we have enough money here to probably finish the max out. If not, very soon we would probably have enough money to finish the max out. And those extra units might just be enough to get us across the line. We're going to charge in here. We don't have Bane speed, which is horrendous. We peed on the planetary. We had Lings and we had Banes. And Banes and Lings could have dealt with the turrets while the Corruptors peed on the planetary and just killed it. There is not enough SCVs here to repair the planetary indefinitely. It takes 22 SCVs, no more no less, to infinitely repair a planetary or CC that's being peed on by 10 Corruptors. So obviously the math changes as the SCV numbers change, or as the Corruptors numbers change. This is the huge army of air. Now, what did we do as a response? We built 74 Lings, of course. Why wouldn't you? 74 Lings, really good for Viking, Banshee, BC, Thor. The Corruptors are nice, but building all these Lings, these felt to me like reactive Lings. Like, oh shit, I need to build something. I just build Lings, right? Bad, because the 74 Lings you built offer you no help right now. that army was almost entirely in the air, besides a handful of Marines and like some Thors. Right, the Thors aren't upgraded very well. You're at least 2-2. I wish we'd have gotten Adrenal, and I wish we had these coming online because we have the potential to do it. So yeah, like we saw his army. We finally got a 12 minutes 45. We finally saw his army, and we finally saw what we're up against. This saturation's killing me as well. Like, at least pull some of these off, take them to the further bases. The more further bases we have mined out that belonged to us, and those minerals were used for our fight instead of their fight, the better your chances of winning an extreme late game, unless the trading is absolutely horrendous, like 3-1 or 4-1 or something like that. So these lings, honestly, the lings probably could be turned into Banes right here and just ran into this with intensity and blow this up and then reset the Terran's economy kind of a little bit, and then you just switch back into full corrupted production. As this army clearly does not fight mass corruptors very well. And you say you went to corruptors, but you have 17 corruptors versus an army that contains more air units than you have. This is 9 BCs and 10 Vikings, which has an insane damage output compared to your handful of corruptors. There was a mention as well of Vipers, which I'm not seeing on the production tab. So that might be a bit of an afterthought. Those 74 lings, they killed you here. They killed you because they took your potential away to literally just destroy this army. And I guarantee if I went into the game afterwards and did like 10 BCs and 10 Vikings versus like how many drones are we on? I don't know. What can we afford here? I'm so bad at maths. 40 corruptors or something. Whatever supply we no, that only takes us to 80. It still leaves us with 40 supply. Even still, 40 corruptors would crush that. I think 100% of the time. An issue here for me is that we've gone for the upgrade on damage. We haven't gone for the upgrades on armor though. So we have two base armor, and a BC normally does 5 damage, but he's got an upgrade, so he's actually doing more damage than they normally do. And a BC in the air, I think, does something like, I think it's like 34 damage or something a second to a corruptor. Once you start getting those upgrades, that scales even worse. So it starts ending up like being like 24, and then 16, and then 8. If you can get 3 upgrades on a 0-0 BC, they're literally doing like 8 damage a second. It's nothing. We peed on the CC. We lost all the lings for this. We lost all of the lings for this when we did not have to. He's being incredibly passive here. Where's our army again? At least we're doing a good job of like... If the corruptors had come in and peed on the planetary and killed it first before doing that, you'd now have 70 lings in here going absolutely ham, killing everything here, and you can go back home and remax on corruptors. The lings are basically throwaways now. We don't want to chase too far. If you're ever in this situation, what I like to try and do is like break off 1 or 2 units and send them a little bit further ahead while the rest of the army stays back and kills what it can for free. We see he's coming. We again get a good look of what his army is. We go home and we ended up losing 4706 to 1387. I think we ended up losing like 3k worth of resources. We got a planetary, 1 PF, 1 tank, and some SCVs for like 2,500 resources. We traded, it was 1,300 we got. So the planetary's worth a fair bit, the tank was worth a fair bit. Said the ling run by was very successful, but honestly, you could have done that without the ling run by, and it still would have been pretty good. I think you could have sent the lings over here, and done the same thing over here, but in reverse. We're not moving our drone. We are getting pretty decent upgrades, which is nice, but this threat is still unchallenged by your army composition, right? We're not building corruptors again. For some reason, we're building 54 lings. This army isn't even good with lings, right? The idea is the corruptors just kind of stroll in, they kill everything, they do a full reset. And then you can do whatever you want. You can bully the Terran, but you can go back to roaches or hydras or whatever and just bully the crap out of them. But you can't do that if you're going to leave his army alive, because you keep making fucking lings. So how many lings have we got? 64. And I want to see... what do they manage to kill? They'll get the Thors. They'll get the Marines. And that's it. That fight should have had the Vipers in it. We have the Vipers coming out now, and now you're dead. What did we lose? Terran lost 4k, but you lost 7.5k. You lost almost double again. You're trading at almost 1 to 3, while being even with the Terran in mining almost the entire game. There's a bit of a discrepancy now, but honestly it doesn't matter. With the way these trades are going, it might as well be the same. This ling run by is going to get a lot. No, it's not. Never mind. I can just warp home. How cool is that? Did he even use the... He didn't even bother to use the Dorito cannon on these. Didn't need it. Literally didn't need it. $7.5k. No, a full base of minerals. Sorry, Thrawn's just asked. 7.5k is 1/3 of a base of minerals. No, it's 10k per mineral base. So it's basically this. All this here was lost in that fight, in that one fight. So if you keep continuing to fight, 7.5k down every fight, you're talking about a whole mineral patch. So you can only really afford to do that every couple of minutes before you choke yourself out by bleeding out too much money. Unless your economy is insane, but that's not the case. So we didn't really need to take that fight here at all. We should have waited for the Vipers. That's what the Vipers are for. And now, as I figured, now we don't have anything left that can challenge this army. We saw him warp back home as well, right? So that's... We have more Vipers. We have more Vipers than Corruptors right now. We built the Lings again. We built the fucking 75 Lings, dude. What's our gas income? I don't feel like our gas income's correct. I saw this before. That's not fully saturated. These are saturated. That's okay. These are saturated. These are saturated. These should be saturated. So you can probably take off. You stop buying Lings, right? Stop purchasing Lings and put some drones into here instead. Take them off minerals. We have plenty of minerals. If you stop spending them on Lings, you just overwhelm this with so much ease. The creep spread stopped, and honestly, I don't blame you. Obviously, you're struggling with this concept on this game. It's like, how do I beat this? You do what you did, but just make more of it. Because again, you have... He has 1 BC for every corruptor you have. How do you anticipate winning this fight? You'll get a Banshee for your trouble, and then lose the base. We're in. Alright, go home. Beautiful. Now again though, 78 lings we had. 78 fantastic lingers. He left the door down too. We didn't even like... We've already lost 30 lings for a tank and a depot. Interesting choice. We lost like 60 lings for a tank and a depot and some SCVs, which he didn't need. The ling run buyers are bad. You may have thought, fuck yeah, I put him on his back foot there a little bit. Nope. Please don't parasitic bomb these. Please do not abduct these. We need these for a big fight. You know what? That's not too bad. Oh, we got it on the weak one. Alright, parasitic bomb. Now, what we don't want to do... We dropped all the parasitic bombs together, didn't we? Right? It doesn't stack. It doesn't stack. And what I mean by it doesn't stack is that you can cast 6 parasitic bombs on 1 unit, and every unit will still take like the 120 damage that it's supposed to do. You need to come in, cast one, wait like 6 or 7 seconds, come in, cast another one, come in, cast another one, come in, cast another one. We just dropped them all. And we didn't even spread them out. So imagine here, if he was fighting through like 4 parasitic bombs, you actually kill them. You kill everything here. Another horrible trader, I guarantee it. Right? That's 75. 100 versus 180. Let's just say. And then he gets the Dorito cannons off as well. What are you building? I'm not building lings, that's good. You had the right composition, man, but you took too long to get here. You took way too long. It's like a 20-minute game, yeah. You took way too long to get here. You had all the right ideas. You had upgrades on your side as well. What's his upgrades? Your upgrades are pretty much even, right? You've got 3-3, you got 3-2, he's got 3-2-2-2 for some reason on the Marines. Like, the upgrades are pretty much even. What's not even is the fact that his army is just flying units, and you keep building 75 lings. That's like 3 or 4 rounds of 75 lings you've built that are doing nothing for your army, and there's just 1 ling. I reckon 1 ling keeps surviving because there's usually like 75 lings you have. Maybe he's not getting hotkeyed, I don't know. No, he's definitely going for a fight now. Again, we have this, right? They should be down here. We should be mining this. We need to be looking up here every now and again. We need to have our eyes open and see this and go, there's a disparity between how much minerals we have and how much gas we have. Are you going to beat this army with queens or with lings? No, you're not. So we need gas. We need gas to take care of this. This next fight, I imagine, is going to be the one that breaks it for our Zerg, because we've got 22 corruptors now, 7 vipers, which is a much more usable amount. The base is dead anyway, right? So for me, my idea would be come here, right click here, ding ding ding, take 3 out, right click here, ding ding ding, and then put the rest here. And then you could probably even grab these, build 2 extractors here, and then get ready for this fight. We built 40 lings. Fantastic stuff. We are not learning from this. If there were like 40 Hydralisks, it's probably not a bad fight, really. Honestly, with what you've got, combined with the things, you could probably abduct almost all of what he's got here. But these lings just don't offer enough. We got multiple parasitic bombs. We dropped all the parasitic bombs again. This fight won't even be that bad. But how many queens do we have actually? 8 queens. We probably could have brought them. You were so close to winning this here. I feel this was the closest you've been because you actually had a good number of corruptors for once. But it's just too late. It should have been no fucking lings and corruptors every other fight. What are we talking about in this fight? Just before we take this fight, how many? 18 and a Raven versus 31 and 7. I'm trying to remember that. This doesn't help. All you've done is put 120 damage on every single BC. So with this, you have the potential to do like 800 damage if you just come in and drop them one at a time. And then what happens as well, right, is if you are coming in and dropping them one at a time, the Corruptors are pretty much a move. They're good. They're the best unit you could have against the composition he has. Honest to God, they are, combined with the Vipers, even better, but they do not work like this. So the idea would be you just A-move the Corruptors, you come in with the Vipers, you have them here, you Parasitic Bomb, you fly back, you Parasitic Bomb a couple of seconds later, and you keep repeating that. If he flies home, you follow him and figure out where he is, and you absolutely kill him. You kill every BC because they're going to be pretty badly wounded, unless there's a ton of stuff there, which is possible, but it's not always right. He finally uses the Yamato's way too late. And we're dead. We never got roach speed, did we? Yeah, no, we didn't. Lings just aren't that good in this situation. I think that's going to be... Yeah, we tap out. Alright. So hopefully that answers some questions you had. There's no way... Oh, fuck, I always do this. There's no way you had completely right concept. You 100% did have the right concept. You just didn't have enough of what it was because the economy sucked. The economy sucked and you were taking bad trades. It's not like you took bad trades on purpose, right? Like, we never take bad trades on purpose, but am I not going to be able to go to the unit tester? Is the arcade bugged out again? Or is my internet just being weird? It's not convincing. It's like 18 BCs, 30 Corruptors, 7 Vipers, and a Raven. The upgrades were pretty much even, but just for clarity, I think it was 3, 2, and 3 armor, 2 weapons. Terran, Raven, 18 BCs. Let's go 20 BCs. Now that's 122 supply. That means it gives him 80 supply left. If we have an 80 drone economy. We got a lot of, that's a lot of corruptors, my man. We'll get rid of one. Do they spawn with energy? They do. Ah. So watch how much damage this does. Ready? We drop one. We drop two. The back ones aren't firing. But you can see how good this is, right? We've got to get to... I'm gonna put the Yamato on. My bad. Parasitic bomb. Parasitic bomb. Parasitic bomb. It's an absolute slaughter, man. Corruptors hard counter the living shit out of it. And like I talked about, you win the fight versus the BCs, and then you just dump everything into Broodlords when you have a winning position, and you cripple them that way. Now, what was our fight? It wasn't even like... How do I get rid of them? It was like 30. And like fucking 7 Vipers for some reason. Supplies are pretty even. The Terran's paid a lot more for his army. The only thing that's going to hurt here really bad is that our army... Oh, the Terran actually didn't get his thingos off though, did he? So if we go... We can spread out the parasitic bombs a little bit. It's a much better fight. A much better fight. Maybe it was about the same. I used a lot more of the Yamatos though than he did, that's for sure. That Terran was not Yamatoing to his best ability. So right, if we can just drop that, right? Come back, drop one. What the hell? How do I grab all the... I didn't realize I could get all the way up there. Look how dead they are now. If we can force him to chase us for a little bit... We almost killed the BCs without even taking that fight, dude. Now. Same fight, but with 75 lings. The BCs aren't even targeting them because they pose no threat. We kept all our lings alive, actually. I don't think a single one died. You had the perfect composition, my guy. But in the times where you needed to make Corruptor, you chose to make 75 lings and leave like 15 Corruptors off the table. And that's how you died. Even like the inject thing, it didn't even matter. It didn't even play into it at all. because you always had enough lava to do what you needed to do. That's fine. But the fact that, like, how many... I don't even know what we abducted. We used 17 parasitic bombs, and I reckon we probably got like 3 loads of damage out of them. And this picture like paints itself, dude. You were not ahead at any point, and then you chose to make lings instead of the one unit that actually counters what he's making every single time. If you'd have gone Corruptor Hydra, Corruptor Hydra Viper, just 2 combinations of units that shoot up that aren't muta, easy wins every single time. I don't see how you lose this. He obviously wasn't keen on going ghosts. He didn't care about that, even though you showed him that you were making Vipers. He literally didn't care. So you did everything right that needed to be done. It just wasn't enough of it, and that's kind of what happens in this league. If you don't realize that your opponent is doing what they're doing until 12 minutes into the game, you've now had 12 minutes where you're building the wrong stuff. And as I said, the gas here, the roach warren, the baneling nest, the evo chamber that didn't do anything for ages, all these things add up to killing your economy. Building this roach warren and then doing nothing with it, like, not good. This is defensive. This is a turtle Terran, straight off the mark. Why the fuck would he have this? You know why? Because he probably wants to start taking planetaries as soon as he can, and that's probably exactly what he does. He's just a little bit slower with it than he probably should have been. You had great vision, but we didn't bother scouting at all until we got attacked. Yeah, this was actually like double starport Banshee, and it did nothing. I think he killed like a couple of queens and some spores. We lost the Banshee, they went home, and then just built mass BC. So yeah, this is a turtle Terran who's not wanting to play a real game. He's not going to leave his little hidey hole. Figure it out earlier. Figure it out, and then make drones quicker, because the drone count we're at now ain't it for 6.5 minutes. And then building these banes, building all these banes. We're talking 2, 3, almost 4 corruptors worth of banes, just to have an opponent building banshees in the corner. Ain't it either. You've shot yourself in the foot a few times over by building all this tech that not using it, and then again by spending money on units, and then spending money again on turning those units into something else that doesn't really help your cause all that much. So we got the hatchery. We killed the hatchery, which sucks. Got a ling. Got a queen. Was that another queen, or is that another ling? There's a drones hanging out here for some reason. And I think this is it. And he went home. Oh no, he didn't go home, but he ended up losing a Banshee for this. No, he got a... Yeah, that's... a queen, a couple more drones. Cool. I think he does... Oh, I feel like he lost a Banshee. Oh, he's minus 250 anyway. Cool. This is... And then nothing else happens for like another 5 minutes, and then you see mass BCs. This is... Turtle Terran at its finest. You do realize he's on 3 bases, whether you understand it or not because of this. You're on 3 bases. You were taking a 4th, but we probably need to be quicker to putting that down, because we need to drone this motherfucker up. We are 6 drones down here. We are 5 drones down here, and we are over drone like a donkey here. This shit is killing us. This shit should be here and here, and then the rest of them over here. We should be just droning up and keeping a real close eye on whatever the hell he's building behind this. All we really want to be worried about is him moving out with a mech army or with a BC warp in. That's it. Those are the only 2 things that I feel like can really bother us. And now that you kind of know it's air, he's probably going to keep going down that path. You probably wouldn't expect to see a massive tech switch into like mech, like ground mech. He does add some Thors, but again, he's only got like the 1 factory, so it's not like it's a huge deal, right? Yeah, just the 1 factory. So it's not even like it's straining his production or infrastructure or whatever to make 1 Thor every now and again. And Thors are good. They add a lot of damage where they need to. But we see what his army is. And we're still sitting on Banes. And this is where we finally kind of like break ahead in the economy. No, we don't. We don't break ahead in the economy here either. There we go. Now that the mules are dying off, we're finally getting there. This is not where we want to be. Versus a Turtle Terran, this is not where we want to be. He's ahead in supply. Nothing is going according to plan here. And we need a high gas economy in order to kind of beat this easily. You can beat this difficultly with other things. But to beat this easily, we want more gas. And we need these upgrades to be pumping. Oh, Jesus. The Ling run-bys, they're very cute, but they're not doing their job here. Not at all. So I think that pretty much takes care of it for me. I think I've solved the mystery. There wasn't enough stuff. And as Schrader's pointed out in the chat, it's 1,000, 10,000% BCs. Exactly right. That looked like a BC. It was Banshees, but it's essentially the same response. Queens and Spores and get into a Spire. Yeah, that's an easy solution. Hopefully better luck next time with catching it out. And that's it. That'll be it for me. So I'll be chucking this on YouTube as well for him to have a look at. If you do have any replays you want me to have a squiz at, please do send them through. Post them in the chat or send me a message on Reddit or on Discord under the same name, or email me at the same name at gmail.com. And yeah, let me know what you want me to look at, and I'll look at it. Mostly Zergs, so that'd be preferred. I am definitely not anywhere good with the other two, but if you're playing a macro game or just want someone to look over your replays, maybe got a silly game, I will happily have a look at that. So I disappeared for a sec. I'm just trying to figure out. There we go. We're back in the game. So that's it from me. Better luck next time, mate. Recognize what he's doing and adapt to it. You had the right game plan. That's the most frustrating part, is you had the right game plan. You just didn't have enough of the stuff to get you over the finish line with it. That's it. So next time we don't need to build 250 lings versus a Sky-Terran. We can actually build air units, and corruptors are some of the best anti-air units in the game, despite what people think. And usually I would say those people don't realize that if you don't have enough, they are useless. So you always kind of need to err on the side of caution of having too many and be ready for a brood lord transition. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, having more would have definitely helped 100% of the time. So that's it. Peace out.